Alright guys, so welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video we're going to look at a new gaming headset from Sennheiser. Now Sennheiser is already one of my favorite audio companies, so I was pretty excited to see that we're finally going to release a wireless gaming headset. Now it does come at a pretty hefty cost. These do retail for $349, but the beauty of these is you can use them wirelessly by using the included wireless dongle, and it also has Bluetooth, so you can connect to your mobile devices like your phone, your tablet, anything like that. So this pretty much can be used wireless with any device. That's important because that's the only way you can use these. There is no headphone connection. So inside the box, you're just getting the dongle, the micro USB cable for charging, and the headset. Now the headset itself, with using the dongle for wireless gaming, it's low latency. So that's really important for first person shooters and anything like that, because you're instant sound. There's no lag, because if you're gaming and you're hearing stuff a little too late, sometimes it's just a little too late. Now the battery life on these is also dependent on which way you're using them. If you're using them via Bluetooth, you're going to get about 20 hours, but if you're using them via the dongle, you're going to get about 16. Now, I do want to point out that the build quality on these, it's really sturdy. Everything is very well built, and I like the way the ear cups on here actually adjust. You can slide them up and down, but also on top of the headband, you have the ability to control the clamping force. You know, because everybody's head is different, so sometimes it can be a little too tight or can be a little loose, and so the fact that they added that control on the top is a nice touch. And actually, speaking of controls, as far as on the headset itself, you have a volume knob, which is really massive right here. It's kind of hard to miss, and it has a very nice feel to it. This is also what turns it on. You can kind of hear a slight little click. But if you do not turn these off, if there's no music playing, after a little while, it will just shut itself off. Also underneath that is a programmable button that you actually have to use Sennheiser software. You download it on your PC, and then you're able to make it just switch from 7.1 surround sound, or just staying in stereo, or you can just program some of the EQ settings. Right above that, you have your mic volume wheel. So as far as your controls, all of that's on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you do have your pairing button, and then you have your micro USB input for charging. Now, speaking of charging, it does have a feature to charge it for 7 minutes. That's going to give you 2 hours of use. So that's at least handy that you can get 2 hours out of a quick 7-minute charge. Now, one thing I do want to point out is, yes, these are very well built, but it also comes at the expense of having a little weight on these. So when you wear them, although they're extremely, extremely comfortable, you do seem to feel weight right here in the center part of your head after a while. Now, it wasn't anything where I felt like, okay, I need to take these off, but it was something I noticed pretty quickly, and it just stayed that way throughout the whole time. Now, as far as the build quality, going back to the headset, the ear cups have a pleather or leatherette material around the ear cups, but it's actually a suede where it touches your head. And honestly, that is keeping them from getting hot, and it is really comfortable. Now, the ear cups are also extremely deep, so you're not going to have any issues with your ears touching inside of the ear cups. They're really easy to adjust. You can see they have like a 2-axis system on the side, so they form to your head really easily, and if you're moving around, they kind of move with you. It is a very sleek headset. Now, as far as Bluetooth controls go, you don't have any. Like, I think it's pretty much because they considered Bluetooth secondary. Or if you're gaming on your mobile device, you're not going to have to control skipping tracks or anything like that. You can control your volume, but that's with the same wheel anyway. Now, the microphone in here is actually close to being a broadcast quality microphone, and it is noise canceling, so it does do a good job of picking up your voice and blocking out a lot of the stuff going on around you. So if you're in a noisier environment or anything's just going on, the people on the other side are just going to hear your voice. But speaking of the microphone, let's do a mic test here. All right, guys, so here is a mic test of the Sennheiser GSP 670. They claim this to be broadcast quality. I don't know that I would necessarily take it that far, but it is really impressive, really clear, picks up bass tones very well. I can see that a lot of people can stream with this with no issues. Now, another thing I do want to point out about the microphone, this is one thing that I wish they gave you the option of, is to remove it. Because with these having Bluetooth, this would have been very nice to use out and on the go. But with this microphone here, it's not something most people are going to want to wear in public. But again, I also think that the headset would need to be a little bit smaller, because as it is, you know, this is a very big headset and not very appealing to wear out in public. Now, I mentioned Sennheiser's Gaming Suite software that you download with your PC or your Mac. You definitely want to do that so that you can EQ these in a way that you want them to sound. And they already have some pre-built ones in there, but the software is also giving you controls over the mic as well. So you definitely want to do that. But as far as using them like on the PlayStation, it really won't matter what settings you have, because it's going to kick it out to just using stereo mode. That's simply because the PlayStation doesn't have the drivers and everything to be able to let you customize it. But speaking of the 7.1 and the 2.0 and all that stuff, I prefer stereo use. I feel like 7.1 in pretty much every gaming headset is pretty gimmicky. It's not doing that accurate job to me compared to just listening to these in stereo mode. So speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about the sound quality, because $350 is a lot of money, and it doesn't really matter if it has Bluetooth and it has this other wireless option if it doesn't sound good. And not that this is really any surprise, but I will go ahead and say this now. In my opinion, this is the best sounding wireless gaming headset I've ever heard. And it's not a huge surprise because it is Sennheiser. They did such an amazing job with these. They're not bass heavy. There's not anything that's more in your face than anything else. They really do stick to giving you a pretty pure listening experience. So you really are hearing things the way they're intended to. Now, again, like I said, you can bump up different things with the EQ, but just leaving them like they are, I found to be a really great option. I did find that I liked it in music mode. Like I said, it has some pre-built EQs, but the music mode gave it a little bit of a boost in bass, and with gaming, that just gives you impact on explosions. I don't like when treble or mids are pushed way in my face, because at that time it sounds really tinny. So when it comes to the sound of these, honestly, there's not like one thing I would change at all. Vocals come through extremely clear. The life in the sound and the sound stage, and again, that's important with gaming. It just does something that a lot of gaming headsets usually fall short. You can really pinpoint where things are coming from, like bullets whizzing by. It just has the right amount of distance. Like, it feels very natural, very lifelike. It's not trying to do too much with the audio, which sometimes can ruin the whole experience. So overall, I'm going to say I think $349 is a lot of money for a gaming headset. I feel like if they would have made it where you can remove the microphone and have the ability to use these more in public, so that you can have a gaming headset at home, but also a Bluetooth pair of headphones to use out and about and in public, it can kind of be that one pair of headphones to do everything, because this really can do everything and it does it really well. But anyway, guys, that is my review of the Sennheiser GSP 670. It's the best gaming headset out there. It's just down to whether you're willing to pay the price, because $349 is not cheap. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, guys, make sure to stay tuned for more.